Well, here we are. Happy Thursday evening. I don't know where this week's going, but hello, everybody. It's myself, Paul Casserole, with the one and the only Mr. David Yang, joining us all the way from, well, David, where are you today? Tell our listeners, our audience members.
I'm in my bedroom, actually. My bedroom, though. I live in Tokyo, so don't have an office. Bedroom is good.
Excellent, cool. So David's joined us from Tokyo. David and I probably met around about 2 months ago. We did a podcast together for the Buying Circle brand, and we spent a lot of time talking about David's experience, kind of living and working in the Philippines and starting a company, which you can see at the bottom, konek.work there. konek.work have very kindly partnered with us to bring this live stream and podcast to you. And the idea of this podcast, or live stream, I should really say, is that David has a passion about cryptocurrency. He's got a well-versed and a wealth of knowledge when it comes to trading in stocks and shares. Now, listen, we're not financial advisors or anything like this. It's just simply disclaimer. This is advice. This is kind of David's thoughts. And David, I don't want you to get into trouble or anything like that. So we're just sharing what David's insights and his knowledge are. So we've been doing a series of podcasts focused around fintech and certainly cryptocurrency. And what we thought we'd try to do next is bring that to the live stream arena. So David has very kindly, actually, I've forced him into it, to be honest with you, to do these live stream sessions just to see how they go and see if we can get any comments and real-time feedback from our audience members out there. So, David, thank you very much for just being there and sharing your kind of insights, your knowledge, your expertise. It's been, I don't know about anybody else, but it's been wonderful for me to be on this journey with you. So we've got about 3 or 4 topics, referring to my notes there, that we want to discuss today. I guess the first one is, over the past couple of weeks, the cryptocurrency world has been more volatile than usual, and it's a volatile place anyway. So I know that Joe Biden made some comments, I think either the start of last week or to the back end of start of this week or back end of last week, about capital gains and how he may look to incorporate that into cryptocurrency. But I guess that's not just the only thing that's been playing into the volatility in the crypto world right now. So what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things. So you mentioned about the whole Biden, tax increase for the rich and things like that. I mean, that's definitely one thing that has popped out. But I think, in generally speaking, the markets, they don't really look at the now. The market's always pricing what the futures. I was about anticipating the futures. This is true for the stock market. It's true for in terms of currencies, especially in a market that's less mature and smaller in terms of market cap. So basically, how large the market is, right? So obviously, the whole Biden thing, taxes and stuff like that, and crypto taxes is a bit gray for a lot of people. So that scared a lot of people. But obviously, people overreacted to that. Another thing, I'm starting to get my weeks kind of a little bit mixed up, but this kind of happened all kind of at the same time. There was some news about Turkey banning cryptocurrencies as well. But that came out, and it's going to be a full-out ban. But it turned out to be they're going to be restricting it. So, but that happened last week, and then the news of restricting it came out more recently. Another thing that I think came out is there's actually quite a popular Twitter that's more focused on FX traders, or people who are trading currencies. And it came out saying that based on sources, there's going to be very draconian laws and regulations coming out for cryptocurrency in the States. And that kind of freaked people out. And these 3 things basically brought a lot of new guys to just get scared and sell out. So all kind of 3 things came together. You mix it up into a blender and you threw it into the market. And then people started freaking out. So those are what people think. Those are the reasons why things got kind of a little bit messy the past couple of weeks. What I think the main reason is because the market has been so frothy for the past couple of months. A lot of people are getting very, very greedy. There's actually a indicator that's used by a lot of traders called the fear and greed indicator. Basically, it's based on the how much volume is and how much is being bought up, and it's a calculation between that to see how greedy we are within the meter. The past couple of weeks have been very, very much on the greedy side. So what that means is a lot of people are very bullish on it. And also what that means is people are actually not only trying to buy Bitcoin, they're trying to borrow money to buy Bitcoin by leveraging. So instead of just buying, I have $100, I buy $100 worth of Bitcoin to borrow money by leveraging and buying $200, $300 worth with $100 essentially. So that's all very transparent on the exchange in terms of what it looks like, how much leverage there is. So when you see a lot of leverage there, if I'm a whale, I hold 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Bitcoin, I can easily sell and go the other way and really push the market other side as well, right? So when that happens, you see volatility. So I feel that was probably the main reason why the market really moved.
Excellent. Your insight, mates, that never fail to amaze me, because I just thought it was something to do with Biden and his capital gains comment, but you know far more than me as a mere mortal. It's great. I've kind of got a question to you about the US markets. So non-crypto related. So we've spoken in the past about, one of Warren Buffett's favorite phrases was, if it's blood on the carpet in terms of the candlesticks, when you follow stocks and shares, that's one of the best times to buy. Don't see it as a dip, see it as a sale, right? You just triggered my thought, my memory there. I was speaking to one of my colleagues in the US on Monday, and they're starting to see in the US market a lot of people, like you're saying, getting greedy in terms of buying like water and gold and all that type of stuff, right? And another favorite phrase of Warren Buffett's is, when everybody's fearful, be greedy. When everybody's greedy, be fearful. So maybe stepping out of the cryptocurrency for maybe 30 seconds, what's happening in the US market that's driving that? And is it something that people should be fearful about?
Yeah, I think what's really driving the whole, people just buying a bunch of things, and is because the central bank, the interest rate is almost at 0%. So if you look at it perspective, right? If you can borrow money at 4%, 3% or something like that. Okay, so the central bank, they'll lend it to the bank for basically 0%. They'll lend it out to retail. We can probably get a 35-year fixed loan on a house for 3-4% in the States, for example. If you calculate that, and let's just say use 4%, you take 4% and you calculate into inflation. Inflation, what the central bank is trying to do every year, try to keep 2% inflation. So what that means is out of 4%, 2% is already out, right? If you just keep your cash as it is. And then you have 2 more percent. If you buy a house, you can have a lot of tax deductions, especially if it's investment property. That can maybe you can take another 2% off the interest rate on that. So why not borrow money, right? You borrow money, you buy a property. If you go keep your cash in cash anyway, you lose 2% spending power over the 12 months. Plus, you can write off 1 and 2% in terms of things you do with the house. So in that case, you might as well borrow money, because if you don't borrow money, actually losing out on essentially free money in that sense, right? That can use to leverage the market. So that's what's happening in the States is people are looking at, hey, money's free. Why don't I borrow? Why don't I go into more risky assets, and use take advantage of the current situation essentially. So
cool, man.
The idea of low interest rates.
Nice one. Honestly, I just threw that question out of left field, and you knew the answer, man. You're bloody amazing.
No.
You've got all.
By the way, I'm just talking about real estate. Right now, in terms of real estate, here the prices in the States are going crazy. Actually, probably I'm not sure how many years, probably 40, 50, 60 years. This has been the least amount of inventory available in the market versus how much demand there is in the States right now. Real estate's been going really, really crazy. And again, it's all driven by the whole idea of low interest. You can lock down 30 year loan for 4%. That's unheard of before, right?
Absolutely. No, you're right, mate. You're absolutely right. So let's pivot a little bit more back to the cryptocurrency world. I know we've got another topic we want to talk about, but before we do that, one of your pieces of advice that relates to the volatility of cryptocurrency is do not check your cryptocurrency every day, right? Just leave it be.
I'm guilty. Yeah, yeah. And one last thing on volatility, because we'll see a bit more next couple of days. One thing people also bet on, besides just buying the cryptocurrency itself, they also bet on a product called the futures. And futures is also a big product that's being bought up by most institutions. I want to go into too much details on the things there, but futures is expiration day. The expiration day is basically end of every single month. And the next expiration date we'll see is actually tomorrow. And usually what we see is when that happens, we see a dip at the end of the month. And then right after the expiration finishes, then we see a pump back up. I think this has been evidenced. I forgot what the number is, probably 70, 80% of the time. So within the next 24 hours to 48 hours, we'll see kind of volatility because of future expirations. Just FYI.
Got it. Okay. No, that's cool. That's cool. That means I'm not going to check it over the weekend at all. Otherwise, I'll just start drinking. So yeah. Okay. Cool. Perfect. So let's talk a little bit now about the coin that's probably making the most noise at the moment. In fact, there's a couple, right? There's one we'll talk about later, which is the Binance coin, or Binance. Sure. I can never pronounce it correctly. Yeah. But the one that's getting the most attention right now across most social media platforms is the one that Elon Musk has kind of, I don't know if he's made it his coin, but he's certainly shown a lot of support about it. So it's the Doge coin. Have I pronounced that correctly?
Yeah, Dogecoin. Yeah, absolutely. So I guess no. Since I'm in the market, so I understand a little bit more regarding how that ties into just money in general. But I know you bought a little bit. Why did you buy into it? Can I ask?
Yeah. So I bought into it maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, simply because there was something. I don't know if it was our conversation on the podcast that we did a couple of weeks ago. I think it was. And I just happened to look, right, and the price was ridiculous. Like lowest of the low I think I'd ever seen it, right? So I thought, well, what have I got to lose? So I invested X, and honestly, it was a paltry amount. But over the past 2 or 3 weeks, that has nearly trebled in value just in 2 or 3 weeks. And I think I invested because I get time to speak with you, but also because I see what Elon is doing in terms of the social media space, right? And there's just a lot of memes. There's just a lot of focus on this coin at the moment. So yeah, I'm a sucker for a story like that, mate.
Okay, so I mean, I can take a step back in terms of understanding, explaining why Dogecoin was created, and then the reason why there's so much behind it, and why I feel like there is so much behind it in that sense. So Dogecoin was created by just a number of developers that was really trying to take a piss out of the whole IPO situation, ICO situation in 2017, where everybody's creating a bunch of coins, selling to the market, earning a ton of money, and selling out. And everybody at the time was trying to do something really innovative. Oh, I'm going to replace Ethereum. I'm going to be better than Bitcoin, be faster, quicker, whatever, blah, 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 more scalable. So these developers for Dogecoin came out and said, we're not going to do any of that. We're just going to make a coin that has a dog on it and doesn't really have any utility. It's going to be a complete joke, right? Let's see. They put it on there because it's the whole idea of having. It's not trying to do something. It's not trying to be bigger and better. And that's going to brand this stuff. This is not swinging his whatever around, trying to compete with someone. It became very innocent, right? This is trying to be a funny coin, and because of that, something that people can rally behind because the creators don't have anything malicious behind that, right? They just want to create fun. So what happened was when the whole ICO craze in 2017, there's a big pump. That's when Bitcoin began $20,000, and then the altcoins, basically any coins outside of Bitcoin, started to really pump as well. And then the market cap of Dogecoin got to $1 billion. Now it seems not, it's still big, but I mean, if you look at the top 10 now, it's not so big anymore. But um, the developers, for the founders, are like, this is crazy. This is not what we imagined to be. And now it seems like more of a cash grab. So what happened is they
Okay.
left the project, abandoned it, and then no one really developed on the product anymore. And then we got all these guys who are, essentially are it's kind of becoming a cult classic in a sense, like movies, right? So I started following like the meme coins, really finding this how to build a community behind it and starting to try to talk about it, blah blah. And then Elon Musk
Yeah.
obviously rocket fuel, right? So what
Yes.
yeah. So really what's, I think, the selling point about it is it's not trying to sell anything. It's trying not to be anything. There's nothing malicious behind it. All it's trying to do is trying to be funny. But if you think about it this way, doesn't it really kind of think about, let's make us rethink about the whole idea of money in general? There's a community behind it, and the community thinks that this value becomes valuable, right? And because of that, it has garnered a ton of attention. The price has gone up. A lot of media places are talking about it. The price is going up some more. Blah blah blah. But I think there's a long future to this, is because, again, as I mentioned before, it's not trying to be better than anyone. It's not trying to beat anyone. It's not trying to replace anything. It's an innocent coin. We'll say innocent coin. As long as the community becomes bigger and bigger behind it, I think the value is exponential. Kind of like Bitcoin, right?
No, you're absolutely right, and I love the phrase there. It's becoming like a cult currency, right? That it's just there for a bit of fun, bit of a laugh, and look where it is now. So yeah, and I'm very happy that I invested in it. And to be honest with you, I'd love it. I'd love it to increase, but it's just the fact that I feel like I'm a little bit of I'm in the cool gang, right? And I've never been in the cool gang all my life, so this is this is something pretty smart for me.
Yeah. So just a couple of
Moving.
things. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on. After you, my friend, please. After you.
There's a lot more room for Dogecoin to go up. I think there are a lot of people petitioning Coinbase in the States to list it. Coinbase, whenever they list a coin, right? Dallas Mavericks. So you got Mark Cuban there. He's accepting Bitcoin. I mean, not Bitcoin, but Dogecoins in terms of payments as well. And he already pledged that he would never sell a Dogecoin. And you got more of these exchanges, or just made a way to find out lending and things like that of Dogecoin as well. So I think there's a lot of room to grow. So I feel that $1 is really not so far away from now, maybe within this year. But at the same time, within that period of time, there'll be a lot of volatility because it's a meme coin. It's dictated by the community, and community is obviously very emotional, right?
No, absolutely. In terms of trajectory for the Dogecoin, is it on a similar trajectory when Bitcoin launched in terms of growth, or is it ahead of that, or is it behind it? Do you know?
You cannot put a trajectory in terms of Dogecoin. It's so community based. I don't even know how to go about calculating what the price will be in the future, right? Elon Musk said and then blows it out of the water, right? I'm trying to calculate.
Okay, so moving on to the next cryptocurrency that you want to discuss, and apologies if I pronounce this incorrectly. So, Binance is that? I don't think that's right. No, or is that right?
No, Binance is correct. Yeah, Binance. So Binance,
okay.
Yeah, it's the largest exchange globally now by volume. They're doing lots and lots of different things. First of all, they have a lot of coins listed on there. And another thing they are doing is also, I think we talked about in the previous podcast, also creating an NFT platform on top of that. They also have a lot of different ways to earn interest on your essentially idle coins as well. So I recommend, in terms of Binance, if you want to buy some cryptocurrency, you want to save place to kind of store it, and also you want to earn some interest on different kind of coins that you're okay to lock up for a period of time. So I can share a screen here just to give you an idea of some of the interest you can earn here.
Yeah, please do. This is why you're so good, mate. I've thrown this question out of left field, and look at this. You're prep, man. And plus,
No,
as well, you're looking like you're a H&M model today with the t-shirt. Let me just add that to the stream, and then there we go.
Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's perfect. It looks really good, actually. Yeah, it looks really cool.
So here we have what we call flexible savings. Flexible savings, basically, you can take your money in and out anytime you want. So you got a Filecoin, BTC. These are basically stable coins, so they're pegged against the US dollar. And there's 58 other ones that you can do flexible savings on. So these is all yearly. And then you got lock savings, right? So these are the lock savings of the stable coins. And there's other ones that you can do for a long period of time. These are all more risky coins, but you see some of these are 40%, 12%, 5%. It's a lot here. So all I'll recommend is you look at, if you find a project on a certain coin that you really like, you buy it, you want to keep somewhere where it's very safe, you want to earn some interest and passive income off of this, I would very much recommend Binance as a place to do it. And it's very, very easy to onboard, to lock your cryptocurrency as well. So I use this as one of my platforms. Another two platforms I use is BlockFi. Another one also I use is called Nexo as well. And these three things are generating pretty good passive income for me just by sitting there and holding crypto.
Is there anything else you want to share with your screen, or are you good?
No, that's it. That's it.
Okay. No, just so I can remember. So I think you are of the opinion, we spoke about it last time we did the podcast, right? You're of the opinion that invest in crypto and leave it. Hold on, right? Hold on for dear life. Just leave it there, correct? You don't check it every day, just pop it in and ultimately forget about it until, you come to the age of retirement.
Yeah, so actually what I recommend, this is what I do personally, is I dollar cost average. So I throw money into crypto every single day, actually.
Wow.
And yeah, it's not a lot, like maybe $20, $30 here and there.
Yeah.
I do it every single day. And then when there's a dip, for example, last week there was a dip, I threw more money in. But essentially I buy every single day, I buy and throw it onto these kind of platforms. I'm earning interest off of it. So, or else if this is sitting in my bank anyway, not earning any interest at all. So my take on it is you buy, you hold, you throw on these interest earning platforms, and then through a period of time, these interest compounds as well, right?
Yeah.
And then at the same time, as the underlying asset increases, you have your compounds that's paying back into you in crypto as well. So your interest actually increases as the underlying increases as well. So if you look at a dollar perspective, right, I think that Bitcoin is going to go to $100,000 this year. So if you're earning
this year,
this year. So if you're earning 6% on your interest right now, dollar terms, right? So $100,000, you're earning $6,000. But Bitcoin is going $200,000. But since you're earning the interest in Bitcoin anyway, your 6%, your $6,000 all of a sudden become $12,000 in dollar terms, right? So if you're earning interest with appreciating assets, your interest will actually increase as asset increases as well. So I always kind of advocate dollar cost averaging. When there are dips, put a little more money in if you have the ability to do it. But if not, be diligent. Put money in every single day or whatever you can and compound that interest.
Nice. You're absolutely right, mate. You're bang on. And I just love your enthusiasm and the way that you can take such a complex industry and a complex topic and break it down into really easy to follow chunks. I am not the smartest person in the toolbox at all, right? By any stretch of the imagination. But I've learned a lot just from doing these sessions with you, and you talk so much sense. It's great. So we've got maybe 5 minutes left on the live stream, so we don't bore everybody senseless on this Thursday evening. There was one last question I thought we could tackle if we've got time, and this is to do with what Elon Musk and Tesla did earlier this week, where they liquidated a percent of their Bitcoin investment, right?
Yeah, the liquidated portion of the Bitcoin investment, 10%. His whole thing is he wanted to, as you mentioned, stress test the whole idea of his liquidity or not within the whole cryptocurrency industry. To be very honest with you, you got a industry that's trading on exchanges. I'm not sure what's a volume are these days, 20, 30, $40 billion a day. And that's just on exchanges itself that you can see. But there are a lot of trades that happen. We're called OTC, so over the counter. Yeah. So big guys in the background just, hey, I'll give you this amount of cash. Can you send me via your private wallet this amount of Bitcoin? So these are transactions we don't see. So how much did Elon Musk liquidate? 200 million or so?
Something like that, right? Yeah, something like that, right?
Nothing. That's nothing. To say you have to stress test, that's nothing, right? You're talking about a huge market cap already. So I think, yes, he maybe wanted to stress test it. And I think ultimately, maybe he just wanted to cash out to cover some of his costs in terms of, Tesla parts or new factories is building, blah, 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 blah. I think there's more to that. And I think he's just trying to cover his bases by not pissing off the crypto community, I feel.
He loves it, doesn't he? He loves causing a ruckus, old Mr. Musk. Cool. So, David, thank you so much again for your time, mate. You give it up so freely. It's amazing. To our audience members out there, anybody who's listening to the podcast when we post it, or attending on the live stream, please let us know if you've got any questions for us. We plan to do this every week, work commitments allowing, of course, and sometimes we're not able to always make it, but hopefully we'll be here. This is Fintech Focus every Thursday. We're very fortunate to bring it to do it in conjunction with a company called konek.work. Please check their website out. It's on the bottom, as in it's konek.work. It's not flashy. It's just there, konek.work. Check it out. They are a recruitment hub built for us by us. And they just make recruitment extremely easy and really straightforward. David, before we go, is there anything else you'd like to say to our audience members out there?
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting week in terms of crypto prices. So if you want to be on your toes, take a look at the price. We'll see what happens. If not,
cool. David, David, if any of our audience members want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do it?
Oh, just find me on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yang, type me up. You'll see me based in Japan. So yeah, feel free to connect with me.
Excellent. David, thank you very much for your time. Audience, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your Thursday and have a wonderful weekend. Hold on. Don't worry about it. Everything will be fine.
Thanks.